contact, we were in shells, which is the upper half. So that's thud tempo, which is wide open, but we try to keep our feet and not go to the ground. I thought there were a lot of good signs. One of the things we wanted to do today, and one of the things that we think is key to our season is to start fast this year. So as a team, we want to be a team that we identify as our identity is to start fast, and we want to do that today. So I got the officials out there early and kind of surprised them with blitz drill, and I don't think we started off all so fast. So I'm glad that we had that built into the practice schedule, and we'll get a chance to start fast tomorrow early in practice with some full speed thud tempo blitz with officials out there, and that'll be good for our team. Some of the stuff that we're looking for, we saw. I thought the one-on-one pass rush drill with the O-line versus the D-line was more physical and more crisp. I thought the contact across the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball was more physical and more crisp. I think our running game on offense looks pretty good. I like what our defense is designed to do and what they're trying to employ to stop the run. I think we're still a ways away passing game-wise. The efficiency part of it, the timing part of it, I still think we're a ways behind, but a lot of good things out there. We have a chance to be a physical football team and a fast football team. Our defensive line is very big and very strong, and I think that's really a good sign. We've got, I think, 3 of our top 4 defensive linemen bench well over 400 pounds. There's a 420 bench in there, a 440 bench in there, a 470 bench in there, and it shows up out there in the contact stuff. So some good signs, but there's still a lot of polishing up to do.
Talk about the timing issue a little bit with the quarterback and the receivers. I mean, with the rotations you had last year at quarterback and the injuries to the receivers, how did the quarterback core, the receiving core this year develop that timing and find that rhythm?
Well, we're developing that right now. That's why we're practicing. I just said I thought that the timing and the passing game was a little bit behind and not near as efficient as we need to be. I think they've worked hard in the off season, and I think we're certainly further ahead than we were this time last year, but not near as far ahead as we would be if no one had ever gotten hurt. So we still have some progress to make in the passing game. There's some great potential, but we're not there yet.
How's the energy compared to previous seasons?
We've had good energy. I think the last 3 seasons we've had some misfortune and some bad luck, but I think these guys are a little more confident. I think they have some reasons to be, and there's some experience out there, so they're more sure. So I think the attitude is good, and I think we're progressing very well. The energy is very good, but it has been the last 3 years.
Your 2 starting corners obviously had pretty good years as young players last season. How big a step can they take in year 2 as starters together?
We have I think as good a pair of corners as anyone in the Big Ten. Excellent pair of corners. This is a great question. We went out there in practice yesterday, and I thought Ricardo looked better than he ever has. He was really breaking on the ball and even more sure. And I think Josh Johnson can be a great player. I think he's more confident now, so I think they can take some big steps. And they look like they've gotten better to me. I think Ricardo's better now than he was last year. I think that's a good sign. So we can make some progress. I think they're hungry to do it, and they want to do it. So I expect them to keep getting better and better.
I don't know how much you can tell after just a couple of practices here, but Holmes at tight end, how's he looked so far, and just where's that whole situation in terms of finding your tight ends?
He and Crosby are our 2 best blocking tight ends right now. Crosby's a very good blocking tight end. He's a low rep guy. He's very similar to Kyle Adams in a lot of ways. He's really smart. He can see what's happening in front of him. He's a very good technician. Gaves is a fantastic talent. He has a chance to be a very, very special player this year, and even more so in the future. He's put on a lot of weight in regards to his bench press. I think he bench pressed 370 pounds. I don't know if he bench pressed 220 pounds when he got here, and it shows out there. He's very strong. He has a lot of quickness out of his stance. He still has to get his assignments and his techniques down to a science. He's still experimenting around a little bit. But in the passing game, he could be phenomenal. He catches the ball very well. He's very fast. He makes people miss in space. He can run them over. He could be an unbelievable receiving tight end, and he'll be a great blocking tight end as time progresses. He's way ahead of where he was this time last year. This time last year, he was not a good blocking tight end at all, and he's shown some real progress, and he can be a great blocking tight end, and I think he's already an outstanding receiving tight end. He's a super talent.
You expect the tight ends to produce some more big plays this year?
Well, we didn't produce very many big plays last year because we use them blocking more so as blockers, and we didn't have hardly any quarterbacks ready, so it was hard for the tight ends to make a lot of big plays. So they have to make more big plays than they did last year, or they wouldn't make hardly any.
When you got Charles Woods, though.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Just of Marv's progress so far coming back from the second injury. He said he's not trying to push it, just kind of come back if he gets sore, take a play off if he needs to.
Well, he's going to have to manage it some on his own because we can't read his mind, and we'd leave him out there all the time if he didn't indicate to us that it's getting sore. It's not the surgical knee that's giving him any issues right now. I think the surgical knee is doing fine. It's the donor knee, the knee they took the spare part from. That's the one that he's struggling with some soreness with, and it's concerning in some ways because he's really important to us, but he pushes himself through it. It gets sore and he backs off some. He still has some recovering to do from the surgical knee from a swelling standpoint, but as far as playing his position, I think he's much further ahead, particularly from the shoulders up.
Going back to the tight ends, when you got a receiver who's 230 pounds like Charles Woods, can you incorporate him at all in that sort of role a little bit?
What kind of role?
Just as sort of maybe a guy who's closer to the line.
Well, he's a big receiver, and he's a very aggressive receiver in regards to catching the football. He'll really go up and get it. So he certainly ought to be a good blocking tight end. But whether he's closer to the line or out wide, I think he can be a good player for us. I think he has a great upside. He is a big receiver. I didn't know he weighed 230. That's good size.
Somebody said.
Yeah. They don't look like they weigh near as much as they do, but we put them on the scales and they weigh a lot. But he's a good player. I don't see him as a tight end prospect. I think he's years away from being big enough to be a tight end prospect. Gabe is almost 250 pounds. He bench presses about 370 pounds. He has 3 years of eligibility left. He's going to be a 255, 60-pound tight end that runs into 4.5s that benches about 440 pounds the senior year. Those are special numbers. I don't know how many tight ends down the combine had better numbers than that, but he can be a special player.